the American Wild West. A phrase that conjures vivid images of dusty plains, heroic gunfighters, and untamed landscapes. For generations, our understanding of this iconic era has been shaped not by history books alone, but overwhelmingly by the silver screen. Hollywood has woven a powerful tapestry of myth and legend, often eclipsing the raw, complex reality of life on the frontier. This video delves into that fascinating contrast, peeling back the layers of cinematic romanticism to reveal the true grit and diversity of the historical Wild West, examining how fiction diverged from fact. Hollywood's vision of the Wild West is instantly recognizable: the stoic cowboy, the virtuous sheriff, the quick-draw duel in the middle of a dusty street. Films often presented a world of clear-cut good versus evil, where justice was swift and often delivered by a bullet. Saloon brawls, epic horseback chases, and dramatic showdowns became synonymous with the era. These narratives were crafted for maximum dramatic effect, creating compelling stories that have captivated audiences worldwide, but at the expense of historical nuance. They simplified the complex social dynamics and daily struggles of the frontier. The historical Wild West, however, was a far grittier, more arduous place than its cinematic counterpart suggests. Life wasn't a constant series of dramatic confrontations, but rather a relentless struggle against nature, disease, and isolation. The vast majority of settlers were farmers, miners, and laborers, not gunslinging outlaws or lawmen. Their days were filled with hard work, community building, and the mundane tasks necessary for survival. The pace of life was slow, communication difficult, and luxuries scarce. It was an existence defined by perseverance, not always by spectacle. One of the most pervasive myths is the prevalence of the quick-draw gunfight. In reality, such dramatic duels were exceedingly rare. Gun ownership was common, but firearms were primarily used for hunting, self-defense against animals, or in desperate situations, not for daily street confrontations. When violence did occur, it was often messy, unspectacular, and fatal, lacking the chivalry depicted on screen. Many historical accounts suggest that conflicts were more often resolved through argument, fistfights, or even legal means, rather than a romanticized showdown at high noon. The image of the lone, invincible sheriff bringing order to a lawless town is another cinematic exaggeration. While brave individuals certainly served as lawmen, they often operated with limited resources, jurisdiction, and support. Maintaining order was frequently a community effort, involving elected sheriffs, marshals, and sometimes even temporary vigilante groups when formal structures were absent or overwhelmed. Towns often relied on self-governance and collective defense. The true challenge was not just confronting outlaws, but establishing stable legal frameworks in rapidly developing territories. Perhaps one of the greatest distortions is the portrayal of the frontier as predominantly white and male. The real Wild West was a vibrant mosaic of cultures and peoples. Indigenous nations were, of course, the original inhabitants. African American cowboys, Chinese railroad workers, Mexican vaqueros, and a myriad of European immigrants all contributed significantly to the region's development. Women, far from being just saloon girls or damsels in distress, were active participants, homesteaders, entrepreneurs, and often the backbone of their communities. Their stories are equally vital to the historical tapestry. Why did Hollywood choose to deviate so much from reality? The answer lies in the art of storytelling. Filmmakers sought to create engaging narratives, clear heroes and villains, and dramatic tension that would resonate with a mass audience. A romanticized, simplified version of the Wild West provided fertile ground for these archetypal tales of adventure, freedom, and the struggle between good and evil. This cinematic interpretation not only entertained but also helped shape a powerful American identity, rooted in the idea of a rugged, independent frontier spirit. Ultimately, while Hollywood's Wild West offers timeless entertainment and iconic imagery, the true history provides an even richer, more complex narrative. Understanding the realities, the daily struggles, the diverse populations, the nuanced forms of justice, and the slow, hard-won progress allows us to appreciate the actual resilience and ingenuity of those who built lives on the frontier. By looking beyond the silver screen, we uncover a fascinating past that, in its authentic form, is perhaps even more compelling and profoundly human than the myths.